Welcome back. In the last video, I showed you just how 4 aspect ratios can cover all the common sizes you'll ever need for selling your art prints. But today, we're going to put that fully into action. I'll walk you through step by step through my Affinity Designer workflow so you can create and export your files in just minutes. Now, if you're new to Affinity, it's very similar to Adobe, but it's much more affordable. You can buy the whole suite, which is the Photo, Designer and Publisher, or each app individually, and they are all a one-off purchase. Personally, I use all 3, but if you only want to start with one, then I probably would recommend Designer, since it's perfect for setting up your artwork and preparing your exports. That being said, I'll show you today's workflow across both Affinity Photo and Designer, so you can just see how flexible it really is. I usually upload and edit my artwork inside Affinity Photo and then move over to Designer to set up the print sizes. But don't actually worry about that. You can absolutely do all of this in Designer alone. And I'm going to start to release a video soon showing you exactly how to edit your artwork directly in Designer. So if you prefer to keep things simple, then that's what I'm going to do. The main point is the Affinity suite is far cheaper than the Adobe long term. And once you learn like the workflows and stuff, it will save you so many hours of repetitive like exporting and stuff. Okay, so let's set up our template in Designer. First step is opening your artwork. I will open mine in Affinity Photo, and then I'm going to go back to Designer and create a new document. Add your first artboard. I like to start with a large print size, which is the 31 by 42 inches. This gives you a high quality foundation and is also the largest size that I offer and work with. So let's rename this artboard clearly, for example, 31 by 42 inches. And from here, we'll create 4 more artboards, 1 for each ratio. You can choose if you want your artboards in inches, pixels, or millimeters. This is all done at the start. However, if you want to change at any point, then you can go to File, Document Setup, and then you can change it from here. I personally prefer to work in pixels, but you can also just use inches. You can't have different measuring sizes per artboard, so you kind of have to choose which one you want to go with. And when you add a new artboard, the transform panel is where you can change the sizes. If you're in pixels, but don't know the size of the inches, you can actually type in 30IN and it will automatically change the document format. So let's go with the 4:5 ratio and the 2:3 ratio and the 3:4 ratio and then the ISO A ratio. The next step in making this template is always saving, and I always like my designs to include a paper background and my signature. So here's how I do it. I will then select place. I'll add my texture and my signature into one artboard, and then I copy and paste them into the others. I resize as needed, always hold shift while resizing to keep your proportions. That way, when you've exported your file, it has the same consistent finishing touches. Now, we've done that. Head back to Affinity Photo, copy your artwork without the paper background, and paste this into Designer. You can place it into each artboard and simply just adjust it slightly so it fits nicely and centered with enough breathing room. So this is where you'll see how your design looks across different ratios. And it's super satisfying to watch and to see like all of them come together. So here's the fun part, exporting all 4 files at once. So go to Export Persona in the Affinity Designer, select your artboards, not the individual layers. Create slices for each artboard, which just means it will cut out the artboard, and then hit Export Slices, and that is it. Now you have 4 perfectly sized files ready to sell. To make sure everything works, I always test my files on Gelato, which is my favorite print-on-demand platform. They are super sustainable, eco-friendly, and it's print on demand, so you don't have a surplus amount of stock. So what I then tend to do is then select like a couple of the ratios and just test them out to ensure that they neatly fit on like the 18:24 or the 24:32. You shouldn't have to do any stretching or cropping. They should just fit perfectly. And that's it. With just one Affinity template, you can export all 4 aspect ratios in a few clicks and instantly cover the 14 most common print sizes. This saves you time, it keeps your workflow pretty simple, I would say, and makes your Etsy customers super happy, it makes uploading to Etsy super easy. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next one, where I'll show you exactly how to edit your artwork inside Affinity Designer. As always, go beyond and create within.